Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Monday, September the 22nd. I'm Andrew Gagan. Well, the local market has begun higher to begin the week. On Friday, global stocks rose, driven by positive sentiment on Wall Street. However, European shares finished marginally in the red. The three major US stock indices all finished at record highs, with trading volume hitting its highest level since April. For the week, the S&P rose 1.2%, the Nasdaq climbing 2.2% and the Dow adding 1%. And the small cap index fell after briefly hitting an intraday record high. Among the mega cap tech stocks, Apple rose following a price target raise from JP Morgan, while gains in Palantir Technologies and Oracle also drove positive moves on the S&P 500. Shares of parcel delivery company FedEx rose after it reported quarterly profit and revenue above analyst estimates, as cost-cutting and strength in domestic deliveries helped offset weaker international volumes. Paramount Skydance shares jumped on a report detailing the media company's potential bid for Warner Brothers Discovery, which shares also rose. And shares in the home builder Lennar fell after it reported a lower third quarter profit and forecast fourth quarter home deliveries below estimates. And shares of the gold miners tracked a rise in bullion prices. Well, on the geopolitical front, Australia has officially recognised a Palestinian state, along with Britain, Canada and Portugal, in a move born intended to promote a two-state solution. The development has been condemned by Israel, while Republican members of US Congress have accused Australia and the others of legitimising a Palestinian terrorist state and threatened repercussions. This comes as Prime Minister Anthony Albanese arrived in New York, ahead of an expected informal meeting with President Trump on Wednesday. In the US, FOMC member Neil Kashkari has foreshadowed 2 additional interest rate cuts this year, saying, "I believe the risk of a sharp increase in unemployment warrants the committee taking some action to support the labour market." And the Policy Setting Committee's newest member, Stephen Moran, has said, "I will do independent analysis based on my interpretation of the data." Well, the US 2-year Treasury yield rose to 3.57%, while the 10-year rose to 4.13%. Markets pricing in a 90% chance that the Fed funds rate will be cut by 25 basis points at the next meeting at the end of October, with around 4.5 more cuts in total in this easing cycle. The US dollar index closed up for the day on Friday. The Aussie has fallen back below 66 US cents, and Bitcoin is trading lower at around 115,000 US dollars. Oil prices fell on Friday on concerns about large supplies and declining demand, outweighing expectations that the year's first interest rate cut by the Fed would encourage more demand. Brent crude futures settling down 1% at $66 a barrel. Copper rose 0.6%, iron ore lifting more than 1% to 106 US dollars a tonne, and gold moved higher on Friday and headed for a 5th consecutive weekly gain. Spot gold 1% higher at $3,683 an ounce. Ahead locally this week, RBA Governor Michelle Bullock appears before a parliamentary committee today. Tomorrow sees global PMIs for September. Wednesday, the monthly inflation data is released, and on Thursday, job vacancies for August. Overseas, today China reveals its decision on its loan prime rates for September. Tuesday, Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaks. Wednesday, US new home sales. Thursday, the US trade balance as well as economic growth for the June quarter. And Friday, the US core PCE price index. That is your day and week ahead. We'll see you again tomorrow.